Today, we're going to learn about compound interest. And by the end of the class, you'll be able to know why you should start investing as early as possible. Let's begin. I will invest when I have enough money. Does this sound familiar to you? Or probably you've said it before. What they don't understand is the best time to invest is in the past, and right now. It doesn't matter how much you have right now. Many have paid prices for not having this idea. They wasted their time, youth, and it'll take them much more time, money, efforts to even break even with others who have this idea in mind from the beginning. Let me explain. But before actually getting started, we have to discuss an important idea first. You probably have heard the saying from Einstein, that compound interest is more powerful than atomic bomb. Whether it's true or not, it clearly emphasizes the powerfulness of compound interest. So, what actually is it? Let me give you an example first. You must have saved your money in the bank before, and we know we would have some extra money back in a period of time. Say, the interest rate is 10%, so if you save $100 in it, 1 year later, you'll get $110. And another year later, you'll get another $10 to reach $120. Of course, the assumption is that it's based on simple interest. In simple interest, you get the same amount of interests every year, because it's calculated based on your principal money. On the other hand, if you use compound interest to do the math, with the same conditions, in first year, you'll get $110, while in the second year you'll get $121. Wow! Where does the extra dollar come from? It comes from the $110, because the calculation is based on the money in the bank so far. That is, 110 times 10% equals $11. It's where the extra money comes from. Now I believe you can see the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Of course it's only $1, but if it's $1 million, $1 billion, or even $1 trillion? And what if you put the money for 30 years instead of a few years? Can you imagine how much the gap can be? Let's give you another example. If we first invest $100,000 with the same interest rate as 10%, if we let it be there and do nothing for 30 years. For simple interest, you'll get $400,000. While for compound interest, you'll get about $2 million. Let's also look at the assets of one of the greatest investor, Warren Buffett. As we can see from the chart, his assets grows in an exponential way, meaning he might not have that much in the beginning, but when the turning point comes, his assets just skyrockets. And the reason why he did so is not only because of the 20% interest rate he achieved, but also the compound interest that helps make money from money. As a result, why should we start early? Because the earlier we start, the more time we have to have our money grow, with compound interest, of course. You might say, but I really don't have money. Can't I just invest more money later on? Absolutely, but you'll have to pay a big price for it. Let's compare two people. Tom and Amy. They've both started their career. Even with lack of money, Tom still decides to invest $10,000 every year for 10 years and then stopped. While Amy starts investing after 10 years for making enough money now, and she, in order to chase up with Tom, invests for 20 years and then stopped. Assuming they have the same interest rate as 10%. Now, who will have more money in the 30 years? Give you 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, the answer is Tom. It might be mind-blowing to know that, but as we break down reason you might know why. Just from simple calculation, you can see how their money grows. We can clearly see that the difference is huge. Even Tom has invested less money and less time than Amy, he still has much better result than Amy. And that's how powerful compound interest with the help of time. You might be wondering, isn't there any ways that Amy can surpass Tom? Yes, of course. Amy can either increase the amount of money invested, like $20,000, or increase the interest rate. However, as the proverb goes, the higher risk the higher return. If Amy wants to increase the interest rate, she has to take more risks of losing money. Therefore, if you start late, you have to put more money, take more risks, spend more efforts to surpass others. Now let's come back to ourselves. If we start late, we have to invest more money, spend more time in order to break even with others, who start early. I can understand it's hard, for you have to sacrifice so many stuff. You have to cut down the expenses on traveling, entertaining, doing things you love, and instead, monotonously spending money on things you can't even touch. But trust me, it'll be totally worth of it. Because the key to success is delay of gratification. So, start invest right now. Whether it's a few $100s or so, just start. One thing to mention, just because we tell you to start, don't just randomly buy some stocks, because highly likely, you'll lose your money because you don't even have the knowledge yet. So learn first before actually taking actions. Finally, let's review what we learned today. 1. Compound interest is so powerful that helps us to grow our money much faster. 2. Start late will cost you more money, more time and more effort. 3. For investment, the sooner, the better.